Hi and thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Phillip, aka Phil, and somehow I ended up again with a new Leica camera, the Leica M8. Since for the past few weeks and months I continuing to go down the rabbit hole of Leica, and now I'm kind of ended up with a damaged camera, but more on that during this video. Although I shoot a lot of film on my analog Leica bodies and recently also got myself a Leica M3, video up here, I still want to shoot digital on the Leica M system, and therefore I continue to use my M9. I also made a few videos about that camera, also linked up here. And in one of my videos I stated that my M9, which has sensor corrosion, that I didn't bother about that damage as much because mostly I shoot wide open, and here the corrosion is not as visible and you can retouch that in Lightroom or in Photoshop. But after now owning this camera about a year and using it quite often, I also like to use it in street situations, and here shooting at f8 or higher during the daytime, the corrosion is quite visible. Also, even if you want to retouch that in post, my eye, although you don't see the corrosion directly or even shooting wide open, somehow my mental mind sees that still, and over the last few months it started to annoy me, and that's the reason why I started to look into digital Leica M body again. And then, like you, I started to watch YouTube videos about that specific topic. And if you enter the space of Leica regarding the digital M bodies, the Leica M8 is quite popular, so to say, since the last few months and years. And therefore there's a lot of content and videos to watch. And some of these videos, I will link them all for you below. For example, Justin Phillips, Ellie from One Camera, Two Cameras, Marcus Lloyd, Matthew Ruderman, Dave Herring, and the videos which kind of sealed the deal for me, CameraFusion, and talking to dromokratis directly in person. Yeah, somehow that sealed the deal for me to get an M8. And after watching all this content, and as I said, and after chatting and talking to dromokratis, I also started to look out for used Leica M8s. Just a quick brief introduction if you don't know the Leica M8. The Leica M8 is the first Leica digital M camera from Leica, which was launched in 2006. At the time of this recording, it's 18 years old, and in the context of cameras and tech in general, it's basically ancient. But somehow this old camera experienced also some kind of small hype the last 2-3 years here on YouTube. And I think it has something to do with that sensor. The sensor of the Leica M8 has the CCD Kodak sensor, and in the photography community it is said that this kind of sensor comes quite close to the film look of film photography. Also because Kodak developed that sensor, people say that the images coming out of the Leica M8 somehow looks like Kodachrome. And these are some of the reasons why that camera somehow has a hype around it. That's also the reason why, although that camera is 18 years old, of course because of the Leica badge, the prices right now in 2024 used are around $2,000, and that's a lot of money for an old camera, where potentially their electronics can break and you can end up with the brick of a camera. But more on that during this video. I will come to that point. If you're interested in the Leica M8, you should also know that the sensor is a crop sensor. It's an APS-H sensor with a crop factor of 1.33, so a little bit larger than APS-C sensors, but it's not full frame. Also, what you should know is that this sensor is quite sensitive regarding infrared light, And that's the reason why if you want to have accurate colors, you have to put on a filter which cuts off the infrared light. Back then, the original customers of the Leica M8 complained about that fact, and Leica handed out free infrared cut filters. On the other hand, because of this infrared sensitivity, you can get quite amazing black and white images, and that's also one of the main reasons why I wanted to get this camera. Although this camera is used around $2,000, it's still the entry level of the Leica M digital world of Leica. And since I was looking for basically a replacement for my M9 to be able to shoot close down in street situations and don't have to worry about sensor corrosion, that's why I basically was looking for it on eBay and also finally got one. But, and here comes the title of this video, I thought that if I get an M8, I won't get any kind of sensor issues. That reputation is reserved for the M9, and I'm not totally correct, because when I got my Leica M8, the previous owner was the original owner of that M8, so I was quite pleased to meet him in person, talked, geeked out about Leica a lot. That was quite fun, and he said basically he and his family moved on to Leica mirrorless. They are now shooting the Leica Q system and the SL system, and that's the reason why the Leica M8 was sitting on a shelf for over a year unused. Keep that in mind because this is important. And yeah, that's the reason why they sold the M8. And I was the lucky buyer of this M8 because the condition is great. It was used, but still great in condition, and I had a lot of accessories along the package. But when I started to shoot the Leica M8, I noticed that I had vertical lines in my images, and I recognized these lines because Justin Phillip and CameraFusion, they both have videos about this topic. CameraFusion just mentioned it in his M8 video, but Justin Phillip specifically made a video about his journey, how his M8 got repaired. And unfortunately it was quite a journey for him, and in my opinion that should be an edge case. Check that video, it's quite interesting, but as I said, I think it's an edge case in context of Leica customer support. As I mentioned, these lines are quite visible in every images, and yes, you can find that under the term dead pixel. And I was quite curious how that issue can happen. And I asked the previous owner of my Leica M8 and asked him if his old M8 images from back then, if these have any kind of dead pixel lines at the position like my images. And he said he doesn't have any kind of issues in his images. It looks like the reason for that issue is if the camera has not been used for a long time, that this kind of dead pixel issue can come up. And I think that's also my theory, because the camera from Justin Phillips, when he got it, I think his M8 only had 5,000 shutter counts or something like that, a quite low shutter count, and the camera was in mint condition. So I assume that between the time of the last use and when he was purchasing this camera, there was a long time the M8 was not used. The same goes for the M8 of CameraFusion. His camera is even in better condition. If you look at his video, I will link it up here. And here I also assume that the camera was quite long not being used. And all these examples I just told you have that common theme in common. So if these cameras, these M8 cameras, don't get regular use, it looks like it can caused this dead pixel issue. Because Ellie from 1 month, 2 cameras, didn't mention anything from that. Marcus Lloyd, he was using his M8 constantly, also didn't mention any of that. Dromokratis also not. That's my guess why this can happen to some M8s, but not to all M8s. So I was quite disappointed, to be honest, when I discovered that my camera has that issue. But nevertheless, I tried my luck and contacted Leica customer support and asked them what we can do regarding this issue. I know that this camera is 18 years old, but I still wanted to know if they will look at this issue and have a chance to repair that. Since I'm in Germany, I contacted, of course, the customer support in Wetzlar, and until today I'm quite happy with the customer support in Germany from Leica, because they are answering my requests or queries quite quickly, within 24 hours. Also in this case, and I was pleasantly surprised that it looks like that Leica is aware about this issue. So let me read you the response of the customer support from Leica, what they replied to me after being sorry. So each image sensor has a certain number of defect pixels, light and dark. These are already determined individually during production, stored in the camera, and automatically masked out when the photo is taken. So some kind of software mapping, I guess. However, if the defects only appear after production, for example due to other external influences such as high temperature, cosmic radiation, or long exposure times, they can become disturbing. In this case, we rectify the diffused defects in using specially developed software. It is necessary to send in your camera if no further work is required. The costs are approximately 200 euros with taxes, including taxes, with a repair time of 2 or 3 weeks. Please pack your M8 securely and enclose our repair certificate and an unprocessed DNG file of the error on the SD card or USB stick. So yeah, as I mentioned, it sounds like that Leica is aware about this issue, and it's basically also the same until here, the same experience like Justin Phillip made. And I followed these instructions. I sent in my Leica M8 and included some example photos. And this is basically the current status of my Leica M8. It is currently in Wetzlar for repair, and I'm currently waiting for that. I got confirmation when my package arrived at Wetzlar, and they were also here quite transparent. I know that the PDF which they attached on that confirmation mail is also just a template for all cases, but here you have a list of all the repair times of different Leica products. It's quite amazing that you have to basically wait for 12 months, so 1 year, if you want to get your analog Leica camera serviced by Leica directly. All the other products I listed here for you also take a lot of time. Here, according to this sheet, it might take 5 months until my M8 gets repaired. In the mail it was saying 2 to 3 weeks, so I will see. Luckily the link I got to follow the status of my repair is also working compared to the experience of Justin Phillip. And yeah, as I said, right now I'm just waiting. For now I'm still quite okay for the repair process. The cost estimation when my camera was in Wetzlar was, as they mentioned in the previous emails, around 200 euros. Including taxes, and I hope that if they open up my M8 that they don't discover any other issues. So let's see about that. So to conclude this quite long video, which I'm currently ranting on, I guess, is that although I purchased a quite old camera, as I mentioned several times, 18 years now on the date of this recording, and still Leica is open to repair an old camera, of course, if you pay the money and if they don't need some extra parts or something like that. For example, the Leica M9 is not repairable by Leica today anymore, but luckily the M8 is. And the money for this kind of issue is not, the price is not that high, luckily, and I hope that will stay that. But still, the price you pay for a Leica M8 in 2024 is not only the high price relatively compared to other cameras. As I said, the prices vary, I guess, from country to country, but they are in Europe, Germany, around 2,000 euros, depending on condition. Besides that, you still have the risk of having the dead pixel issue like I have, like Justin Phillips has, and CameraFusion has. This is a risk which you should know and willing to take, because that camera is so old. The chance that you get an M8 which is constantly used all over the years, it's quite, I wouldn't say it's low, but the chance is still, it's 50-50 perhaps. Maybe you get someone who used it before regularly, perhaps even not like in my case. And what I want to say is, if you want to look at the M8 and have the chance to use it with the person locally, take some pictures, take your laptop or your tablet with you and check for dead pixels. If you buy it on eBay, that's quite difficult, so as I said, you should be aware about that. Then you should calculate the repair cost into your purchase. And as I said, I'm not sure how the customer support of Leica is in other countries, how the response time is and how long they will take to repair that camera for you and how much the cost is. But if it's only the mapping service, it's around $200 euros. The price from my example compared to the from Justin Phillips are quite similar. So if it's only that issue, the price is okay, I guess. Yeah, unfortunately I'm not able to make short videos about these kind of rant topics. So yes, let's close this down. And thank you very much for your time watching this video. You are the one who deserves the like. I will definitely make a follow-up about my Leica M8 as soon as it arrives. I hope it's before Christmas, and we'll start to shoot the heck of that camera. And but until then, I might also be tempted to get another Leica camera just to bridge that time. Who knows? But in the meantime, I guess I also have to sell some cameras. But rant's over. Thank you again for your time. If you want to support my small little channel, just check the affiliate links below in the description, or buy me a coffee, also in the description. And if you want to see more videos on my channel, just click on one of these and have a nice day.